chillwithaster here, and welcome to As Light Falls Without Reason, version 4.0 Genshin Impact trailer. And today I'm going to be giving you my first ever reaction to this, and this is just gonna be a preliminary, I guess, cover of what's happening in the trailer. I'd not fully researched into it. I actually haven't watched the live stream yet because yesterday I was busy with something else. So today you're going to be seeing my reaction to it and just my thoughts personally on maybe what's gonna happen in Fontaine just from the top of my head. But we're just going to go first through the whole trailer, and then I'm going to go back one by one to see what I can possibly think of in terms of the lore and just in terms of preliminary theorizing. But nevertheless, let's begin. I hope that I set this right. Yeah.
The Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Oh.
I, Fosalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro.
Hello, Gremlin.
The value and significance of your trip.
Ooh.
Now, you may rejoice in this.
We have airships! Yes! Okay, here's the aqua bus that we've been seeing.
In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No. No, absolutely not. I think that's the Research
Fontaine,
Institute.
the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epicles.
Okay, so that's how I pronounce that.
Watch
Whoopsie.
carefully now. Blink and you might miss it.
Lenny! Okay, so here's the character introduction for Lenny. Oh. Huh. Ooh. Oh, he's a bow character. Okay. I mean, that's fair. He throws cards. I get it. I like his design. I always love magician-esque characters.
My sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant.
The music is such a banger.
Step on up.
Oh, she has a skill that's similar to Yelan's.
Let the magic begin.
Yelan's, sorry.
Here comes the finale.
Oh, look, it's so cute. Oh, okay. So we have their gizmo tech. Okay. There's a lot more grass than I thought there would be. Okay, new boss. Oh. Fermine!
I want to spend some time at the bottom of the sea in peace.
Oh, so they're gonna be released alongside each other. Okay. Gets. I thought that. Okay, for some reason I thought that Lenny and Lynette would be first, and then Femine is going to be on a different banner. I have no idea why. Oh, he has a little
If you look
diving
up at the
suit.
sky from far enough underwater, even the sun is soft on the ice.
Oh my god, it's Sharknado.
These fossils are all that's left of these beautiful creatures. I wonder how long before the rest of the world becomes part of this underwater museum too.
Sir, excuse me. Oh. Oh.
Wait, who am I?
Oh my gosh, their designs look so good.
The water is gradually swallowing our memories.
Huh?
It won't be long before it swallows us.
Okay, here's a diving.
We've been trying to find out how the Oritrice
assistant?
operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness.
Orifice,
Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Rain. It's raining.
We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Is this part of the show?
You gotta
Is
be
she-
kidding!
Oh my god.
What happened?
Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection
And we're
of the
back to
gods.
going to jail.
It's a whole army of Gardamex.
I believe this is indeed the finale.
Wait, she doesn't use a gun?
Justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people.
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Hello? Hello, gingerbread man?
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke.
Oh!
You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Oh? Wait, sir? Wait, okay. That's fascinating. Wait. I don't care about you. Huh. Alright. So Italia is gonna be in this. Really? So I'm curious, is he going to be part of the Fatui? Or is he like an independent agent right now? That's just also getting caught up in the mess, which is Fontaine. I did not expect Italia to be here, honestly. What a welcome surprise! Hello, gingerbread man. Welcome back to the story. Anyway, alright, so let's begin breaking down my preliminary thoughts. I am so excited for Fontaine. You have no idea how much I am absolutely in love with the aesthetic of just frills, coats, and now they have the ominous feeling of being one with the water. Something has actually been in the lore before, so I'm going to be... Sure, let's break this down one by one. So, we start off with the prophecy. The prophecy that everything will eventually return back into water with nothing else but Fossilor to be left behind on the throne. Now, I have a feeling that this is very similar to what happened in the ancient civilizations, where forbidden knowledge became a big thing. But I feel like this will be on a smaller scale. I think it was Liben, the mysterious merchant, that said that the people of Fontaine were feeling something very ominous in the air, and the current atmosphere of Fontaine has been very uneasy. So I think that that's gonna play off here, and I like the idea, I like the theory that what if this has something to do with Fossilor's delusion that people in Fontaine have no sin? Like, she's so deluded that this prophecy is nothing short of like divine punishment, that she's so trying to convince herself that no, the people here are perfectly fine. There's no need for something that is Conray level. Everything's gonna be okay. Kind of like that. Maybe she's like on hard copium or something. I also like the idea that everything will be one with the water again. What if the people of Fontaine have become so desensitized to the ideals of justice that they slowly became punished? So the next is the prophecy for Fossilor. Oh, the fact that she's gonna be alone is kind of sad. I wonder, like, yeah, imagine a city that is just filled with so much glamour as like its facade, the masquerade of the guilty of glamour, and then like Fossilor is aware that this is because it's gonna all come crashing down very soon. So she wants to like copium and say that no, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so I was actually thinking that perhaps for once in our life, the Archon isn't an incognito, isn't out to kill us, isn't trapped. I thought it would be a really great breath of fresh air where the Archon is a dominant figure already in the society and just, you know, is hospitable enough to the traveler, but unfortunately it looks like there's some complications in the air and this isn't going to be the case. So at least Fossilor is a dominant figure in her society versus like Venti, Zhongli, and then Nahida, who had to play like more undergroundy roles in the Archon quest. So I want to see this. I feel like she's gonna be the main star. This location, I think, is one of the ports of Fontaine. I just can't remember which one, if this was the one that connects to Sumeru or it's the one that connects to Liyue. But I also like the aesthetic that Fontaine has. You know how everyone was saying that it was going to be an underwater city? I also was under the assumption that it was going to be an underwater city, but it's so cool that Genshin went the opposite way. Like, it's a mountainside. Huh, it looks like a floating island. There's a lot more mountains than I thought there would be for Fontaine, but you know what, pop off, I guess. The aesthetic of the waterfalls looks so cool. And you can see that it basically extends all the way across the nation itself, instead of something like Mondstadt that only has like a few bits of it only has a few bits of waterfalls out there. That's pretty neat. So I think this is one of the ports, and then we get the airships. Yes, very pog. I hope we can ride them. I hope they're not just for aesthetic. I hope they're just not for lore. I hope we can actually ride them. And then we have the Aquarail bus. I think this is what they were trying to test out with the 3.8 event. And I'm just going to say something. I'm not sure if this is the city of Petrichor or if this is the town of Petrichor, but I do think that it's a little gray. I was kind of expecting a more baroque kind of aesthetic for Fontaine, considering the clothes aesthetic that they went for is filled with frills. And now that I'm really thinking about it, I feel like this isn't completely unjustified, considering that Fontaine is a bit more modern than their other counterparts. I think it's a stylistic choice for them to stray away from the more ancient kind of inspirations and more culturally direct inspirations. But it is kind of a shame that we lost the potential Baroque or the Rococo for the aesthetic of the steampunk. Though, I like this change in a way that it looks super futuristic. Having futuristic stuff in fantasy games has always been my cup of tea, and if you see in the background, there's like whatever's going on over there, we're just something floating. So I think they're really straying away from the idea that you should just have the aesthetic be completely direct to the country, and now they're going for a more stylistic choice of showing that Fontaine is going to be different from the other nations, which I actually really appreciate. Gray should probably not have been the complete dominant color, but I digress. It does look like a facility. I think this is the place of the Research Institute, and you can see that clockwork and steampunk are very prevalent here. I think this is the Fontaine Institute. Yeah, the Fontaine Research Institute for kinetic engineering or something. Yeah. And then I wonder if you can dissect anything here. No, I think these are all just placeholders. And then we have Lenny performing in the background, and can I just say that Lenny looks really cool. I really enjoy just his fun aesthetic. What I did find a little unfortunate though is that they didn't go for that old theorized concept where Lenny and Lynette were one character. You know, I think that would have been super fascinating to play around with, but unfortunately that's not the case. But at the very least, Lenny's personality, if you read the lore, is actually pretty fun. And then we have Lynette, obviously the question mark human, and then her aesthetic is very similar to Yelan actually. Wait, I want to go back there. I wonder if this is also going to work the same way that Yelan does, yeah, where she's going to be an alternative sprint. I think that's the case, yeah. Ooh. Animo Sword. That is technically the second one, if you don't count Traveler. And I love Lenny's little ultimate here. It's just vibing. I understand that. This one I think is their home, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I feel like this is Lenny, Lynette, and Freminy's home, considering just the amount of top hats that exist here and just all the gizmos and tech. They do have a strong background when it comes to automation. One is that they have several theories of not being human in the first place. They remind me of Seraphine, actually. If you've ever played League of Legends, they kind of remind me of Seraphine, which is a tinker aesthetic who's messing around with performances. So I really like that. Let's see if we can find anything here of note. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't think we can find anything here except for the obvious top hats. And then the next place that we have is this. I have no idea if this is outside of the home. If this is their little workshop, I'm not quite sure either, so I'm going to guess that's the case. And then we see the top of Fontaine. I'm not sure if that's a Humpty Dumpty, I don't think that is. And then there's a new boss. And then this one. What is this place? I'm just going to say this right now. I have no idea what that place even is. Like, I'm looking at it right now and I can tell that this is probably something like the Aranara, where this is like a bunch of new races. I don't know if this is the Mezzaline, the little ones that we saw in the trailer, the previous trailer. I don't know if that's appropriate to say that these are where they live, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is another race altogether. So if someone has the idea of what could possibly be in here, and I'm not sure if they covered this in the live stream itself, because I will double check, I'm kind of interested to see if they actually covered what this is, because I haven't watched the live stream while I'm doing this trailer. So if they did, could you please put it down in the comments, like what's down here? And then we have this one. I don't know if this is Flörsande. I'm not sure. I don't think this is Flörsande. This looks like a church, actually. Actually, no. I think this is the Diving Institute. I'm not sure. Then we have Fremine. I actually thought that Fremine wasn't going to be introduced in this patch. I thought he was going to be in the next patch. But nevertheless. Oh, I love his freckles. I love his little design so much.
Going under.
I think this one disputes a lot of the Inhuman theories, but I'm not quite sure either. And then we have the underwater vibes of Fontaine.
Underwater, even when the sun is soft on the eyes.
I really hope that they don't fuck this up, because underwater levels in RPGs are a make or break when it comes to this kind of thing. Because on one hand, you can have these absolutely beautiful water biomes, but on the other, it's empty. So I have trust in Genshin that their world building and their aesthetic is going to be really good, and I hope that they don't fuck it up. So here's another lore prospect that I actually kind of wanted to talk about, and these are the fossils that are left of these beautiful creatures. I don't know if this is a reference to the antediluvian era of Genshin Impact. If you don't know, there was an ice age, a fire age, and when the first rain started to flood the earth, basically, I mean Tevat. And I wonder if that's what Fremine is talking about, that these are the last fossils of these beautiful creatures, and that these are around the time of the primordial ones, or at the very least around the time where the four shades were still active. So that means that there's a big possibility that Tevat is flooding. And this was actually a very old theory when people were looking up Mondstadt. People were looking up Mondstadt and they noticed that there were shadows underneath the waters. And I think that was like the precursor to that theory that Tevat is flooding or has a flooding problem. So I wonder if they're going to cover this, because Fontaine right now actually has a waterline crisis. This was something that the Institute is currently working on, and I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to open that topic up even more. Anyway,
Fossils are all that's left of these beautiful creatures.
look at that. So now we have our ancient ruins. That looks so good. I would love to explore that soon.
I wonder how
I'm so excited. I love underwater exploration. You have no idea.
Water museum too.
And now we have the core themes of drowning and water consuming Fontaine. That's where we start this, I guess.
Wait. Who am I?
Okay. That aesthetic looks so good. I'm sorry, that looks so good. Genshin Impact's NPC designs are so beautiful. There's the diving trick.
Won't be long before it swallows us.
Oh.
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates.
Okay, so here's one. The Oratrice. So, if I'm not mistaken, that word is French? Or has French origins, and it means it's someone that can eloquently make speeches. And I don't know if they mean that the Oratrice is this thing at the center. I don't know if that's the case, or if it's someone else entirely. Because they say it, as though it's not a person, so I'm almost obligated to think that it's this thing, right? And I feel like the problem for Fontaine is going to be that the Oratrice is a contraption that judges based on facts and not emotion. This cold, steady law of the land is based off of what the Oratrice says. And it doesn't take into account, you know, human versatility or human volatility, like emotions. And I wonder if that's how, like, Fossilor sees the law. It is cold-blooded justice in a way that it is perfectly just done. Like, the Oratrice is the ultimate adjudicator of justice. And, like, that's what's going to be the point of contention or the heated argument that Fontaine has with the legal system. That you're just following your laws without understanding the people that are suffering from it. You know what I mean? So I'm curious if that's going to be the case. So anyway, we proceed even further.
Why it has consciousness.
Consciousness doesn't mean morality, so I wonder. Oh, okay, so here's
Rain.
where it starts falling apart. what do I think is happening here? Now, on one hand, I feel like this is either a sabotage or deliberate from Lenny and Lynette to frame the traveler. So one is we have sabotage. Like, obviously, my feeling is that the Fatui are getting involved, and this is a way to basically disturb the peace of Fontaine. On the other hand, a part of me also thinks that Lenny and Lynette are part of this this betrayal. I don't know why. I always like the idea of characters betraying other characters, and for some reason I have this sneaking suspicion that, one, Lynette's not human, and two, is that this is intentional. You know, front and center, a sabotage of one of the best performers in the entirety of Fontaine in order to stir trouble and to increase political tension. Ooh! I'm probably giving them a little bit too much credit, but anyway, proceeding. And then we get into Chief Justice Nuvolite, and
as such,
he's as hot as ever. Okay, so here's the authority part. Hi, Chlorine.
therefore you would be wise to tell.
And hello, automations that remind me a lot of the Ruined Guards.
Everything you know and seek.
Yeah,
the
like that's
protection
always a
of
good
the
idea.
gods.
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Gardamex, okay, so that's the word. And then we have Tartaglia just going out of nowhere. So I think, yeah. I think it's gonna be the biggest point of contention. And it appears that we're going to have a rebellion! Yee! Let them eat cake! Or at least, allegedly. I wonder what Tartaglia is doing here, though. I cannot predict what Tartaglia is doing here right now. I think that Tartaglia is not gonna be an antagonistic force for this one, as opposed to Arlecchino. Like, I feel like Arlecchino is going to be the main antagonistic force, but Italia is going to be an ally. Or this is all a ploy from the Fatui to make it seem like to turn the people against the court and to create basically a power vacuum. Almost similar to what happened to the Vision Hunt Decree, except this one a bit more in depth. Because this is where you start the rebellion and not in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Ooh, that's actually a very interesting conundrum. You know, considering the country of inspiration for this one is going to be France. Anyway, I wonder if that's what they're going to do for this one. I wonder if they're going to show us the instigation of a rebellion through the Fatui. Anyway, and then we have Tartaglia here, and that's about it. We have no mention of Arlecchino, which is actually kind of fascinating. But we do see that there is trouble stirring, and I am very, very excited. So, I'm going to be doing an actual live stream breakdown instead of just a trailer, because I do want to watch the live stream soon. I'm thinking if I would, because I also kind of don't want to spoil myself for Fontaine, like 1 hour of just pure unadulterated spoilers. But nevertheless, my name is Aster, and I hope that you're excited for Fontaine just as I am. Bye-bye. Also, what the fuck is Tartaglia doing in there?